I was bitten by the analog pedalboard bug once. It was 2017, I had just moved into my own place and I had a corner of the apartment all to myself with my own stage. I wanted a permanent home for the many pedals I've had at that point, and I thought, let's put them all together. I contacted Goodwood Audio, we got the process going, and before long I was the proud owner of a 34 by 16 inch mothership pedalboard. I'll be honest, I didn't know what I was doing. The rig was inflexible, things were routed and set in stone, I couldn't move loops around due to limitations of the switcher, but it sounded good to me at the time and I was happy. Please note, I'm not bashing Goodwood Audio at all. Grant and Mikey are amazing people who listen and follow along whatever ideas I had, however immature they were. The problems I have with this rig are a reflection on me as a player, not on them as rig builders. I've since moved on to smaller rigs for a variety of reasons that we'll get to today. But since being given one of these new monorail large pedalboards, courtesy of Sweely Music to try out, I may yet change my opinion on big pedalboards. Let's get to it. Shout out to today's sponsor, Sweely Music, who kindly provided this monorail large pedalboard and the Walrus Audio Canvas Power 15. Filipino viewers, you can get any mono, heritage, and harmony products from Sweely Philippines at 5% off using my affiliate link and promo code in the description box and linked comment. You'll get yourself a sweet deal and it builds the channel too. One of the many benefits of having an online community is that I can tap into the collective wisdom and hear other perspectives. I posted a question of big pedalboards, why or why not, on my Instagram, and many of you provided helpful answers that I'll use to frame our time together, divided into 3 reasons for and 3 reasons against big pedalboards. Let's start with the affirmative. Number 1, having options available. Not to sound duh, but pedalboard real estate directly correlates with the variety of sounds you can have available at any given situation. Smaller boards force you to make creative decisions as to leaving things out, while bigger boards give you options. Oh, look at that. All the strips. Oh wow, like that. Oh, so convenient. Okay, so what's really convenient is that they really put this into small little strips. It's not like the pedal train series, I gotta cut one giant ream of Velcro, and this just makes it a lot easier. Okay. Oh. Oops. See, you might get caught in your shirt. I am not good at this. My daughter and I got into a little bit of a creative spat because she wanted me to have the... Can you explain why you wanted these pedals here, Claire?
Those pedals are red, red,
Okay, red
and green and white and orange.
Okay, so you wanted those colors there, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't want these pedals here because they are not colorful enough?
Yes.
Okay, so right now we are happy with this arrangement?
Yeah.
On this new monorail large build, I wanted a loop switcher, multi-effects, multiple drives, amp simulation, and having both a pre and a post amp wet section. Accommodating all of that will be hard on smaller pedal boards, but it was easy here. Speaking of making things easier, we have number 2, having space for function and utility. With a large board, I have the space to have a wireless unit, an extra 2-button aux switch, a line driver to run XLR out of the board, and a power supply that can accommodate them all without the need for multiple wall warts. Not only that, I also have functional space. On smaller pedal boards, I have to angle my foot to press a switch to avoid pressing other switches nearby. On a big board, I can set the pedals far apart enough so that this problem is averted. So bonus tip, I don't recommend cramming the layout of your pedal board to the rafters. Have your shoe size in mind when you place operation critical switches on the board and figure out if you can reach those switches without having to tiptoe like a ballerina. Speaking of being creative in pedal placement, we have number 3, exploring creative sounds. Now that you have options available and the space to functionally place your pedals in a workflow that makes sense, you have the option to explore sounds. I've never been a fan of too much delay and reverb, but this sound is magical. The secret is stacked wet sections both pre and post amp. Before my Strymon Iridium, I have the Walrus Audio ARP87 and slot VAR that has a strong dotted eighth delay and an auto swell reverb with mild modulation. Because it's processed by the amp, there's some wet section saturation goodness. After the Iridium, I have the GFI system clockwork delay and a specular reverb set to a gentle quarter note and a mild shimmer. With the Walrus pedals before it, the shimmer is catching that auto swell reverb, blooming massively behind the overall tone, which is useful for thickening the split coil sound of my Sir Modern Saturn. If you got value out of this video, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to grow the channel and join the community. Check out my Buy Me a Coffee page where you can directly support the channel or get one of my preset packs for your Line 6 device. And now let's take the negative, but we also see how this board's unique features mitigate the problems with a big board. Starting with, number 1, it can be heavy and impractical. As several of you pointed out, big boards weigh a lot and can add stress to your back, joints, and wrists when transporting them. This is why having a car is important to ferry the gear around to minimize injury, and I recognize I'm fortunate enough to own one in Singapore. Thankfully, the monorail is surprisingly light. Even on a fully loaded board, I can carry this single-handed for a lot longer than my mothership. I thought it might be that I was gaining some upper arm strength from carrying my kids all the time, but I took this to a workshop I taught recently and it wasn't just me. The students were also pleasantly surprised as to its weight. Furthermore, there's something you need to be aware of when you're carrying around a large board. The board can fall on its side and cause injury. I know because I've had that happen to me on an old Pedal Train Pro and a Mono M80 case. I sprained my wrist catching that board from falling off a cart I was using. This won't happen as easily with the monorail series and the stealth accessory case that comes with the board. They're angled at the base with enough padding to stabilize a fully loaded board propped up on its side. I cannot stress this enough. No gear is worth getting injured over. So while big boards can be large, bulky, and difficult to move around, mitigate this with a truly lightweight board like the monorail series and use the stealth accessory case to prevent potential injuries. Speaking of mitigation, number 2, it can be expensive. It's not just the pedals. You need all the supporting accessories like the power supply, adapter cables, patch cables, Velcro, which all lie on a price spectrum. The monorail series of boards may not be the cheapest, but I think they have more value than other similar sized boards. You're paying for a properly lightweight design and a case that can be transported more easily. And mind you, the price jump between soft cases and roll cases is quite significant. This monorail large with the case is $279 US, which can sound a lot, but it's less than half than what I paid for with a plywood flatboard and a road case with wheels for my Goodwood audio build. Do your research, plan with a budget in mind, and never go into credit card debt because of gear. Good gear is an investment, and you should be spending responsibly. If you can afford it, all well and good. If you can't, save up for it and build a board slowly over time. Speaking of being slow and taking time, number 3, it can be too complex. Multi-effects units have one thing which makes their adoption much smoother than a pedal board, and it has nothing to do with the tone, tweaking complexity. With one unit, you get used to one workflow. With many pedals on a bigger board, each potentially having their own menu system, especially the digital ones, you're looking at managing 2 to 3 different workflows to tweak your pedalboard tone. Pro tip, most pedals have their manuals available online. I recommend downloading the manual of your prospective pedal and read up on its key operations, tweaking, saving presets, modifying parameters, and any advanced features like expression pedal assignment and MIDI control. If it's too complicated for you to stomach, it probably isn't the right pedal for you. And that's me. What about you? Are you team big board or team small board? What makes you consider a big pedal board, or why not? Join in the conversation in the comment section below. If you like pedalboard build and discussion videos like this one, I have more on my channel like this pedal train fly rig build that you can check out after this. It features amazing gear from Rockstock Pedals who sponsored that video. I'll see you there.